Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I wanted to share 5 things that in 2022, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to give up. You have to stop doing immediately. And those 5 things, you might want to take a notepad and pen and write these down, because this is super important. I've been in business now for 13 years, and I've made a lot of money in business, and I have had to give up a lot of things in order to become successful. I mean, right now I live in a really nice house, I have a nice car, I live in a beautiful part of the world, I've got a great family, I've got a great business, and in order to have those things, you need to give up other things. This is just basic business 101. So what are those 5 things? Well, you probably think I'm going to say things like Netflix, sleeping 8 hours a day, long lie-ins. Maybe you think I'm going to say holidays, social media, get off social media. But actually, I'm not going to say any of those types of things. In fact, I actually believe that social media is a really important tool for your business. I believe that lying in and having 8 hours of sleep a night is actually really important. Guess what? I'm a millionaire and I sleep around about 8 hours every single night. And I think it's healthy. Taking holidays, it's a good thing. In fact, I come up with most of my business ideas and concepts while I'm actually away on holiday. So I see a lot of videos of people saying, work harder and sleep less, get up earlier, 5 a.m. club, stop watching Netflix. Oh, I love watching Netflix. It's great. Sometimes before you go to bed, you just need to take your mind off of business and enjoy something and watch a pleasant movie with the missus and then have a good night, 8 hours sleep. That's healthy, that's good. So I'm not going to talk about any of those things. I think a lot of people share things that they just heard someone else say or read in a book. But these are the 5 things that you actually do need to give up in 2022 if you want to be successful. First thing is excuses. Excuses, justifications. If you're thinking, the reason that person's successful is only because they made it on Love Island, but I didn't make it on Love Island. Do you know what that's called? That's called a justification as to why you're not successful. Excuses. Actually, it's harder for me though because I didn't have anybody help me. I've got bad credit, so it's not as easy for me. That's called a justification. That's called an excuse. So that is the very first thing in 2022. You have to just absolutely give up and quit immediately. So write that one down. Next, number 2, trading your time for money. What does that mean? That means, and so many people, I've heard that they know this, they've heard this, they maybe have read it in a book, but they actually don't know exactly what it means. Listen, if you're trading your time for money, that simply means that you think that you should be paid for your time as opposed to your value. If you want to be a millionaire, okay, or if you want to be a multimillionaire, it's impossible to make that happen if you are trading your time for £10 an hour. Because if you're trading your time for £10 an hour, you're going to have to work so many hours to become a multimillionaire that actually your life ain't long enough, right? So what you need to do is you need to actually make your time more valuable. But not only that, but stop charging people for your time and stop charging people for your value. No, that's number 2. Number 3. What do you need to get rid of? What do you need to give up? You need to give up bad news. Most people are addicted to bad news. In fact, if you watch the news, 6 o'clock news, 10 o'clock news, it's not the news, it's the bad news, right? It's just bad news. Why is it bad news? Because that's what most people want to hear. And believe it or not, the news is just a form of entertainment pretty much. And the news want to get clicks and eyeballs because that's how they get their sponsorships and their viewings and their ratings. And they know that most people want bad news. Most people are addicted to bad news. You've got to stop that. You've got to give that up. You want to be a multimillionaire. Instead of being attracted to bad news, you need to give that up. All the gossip. Who's doing badly? Oh my goodness, did that person just go bankrupt? Oh, forget it. Run away from it. Give it up. Become addicted to good news. So you have to give up bad news, negative stories. Unsubscribe. Number 4, the thing you need to give up is taking advice from the wrong people. I find it really crazy how people take advice from people who aren't successful themselves. It's like, if you want to become an athlete and you want to get a 6-pack and you want to get ripped and get super slim, guess what? Shouldn't take advice from me, right? Why? Because I haven't got a 6-pack. I'm not super slim. That's just called common sense. If I started telling people, going around saying to people, here's how you can get a six-pack, here's how you can lose weight, here's how you can be really slim, here's how you can run a marathon, and I've not done it myself, people would be like, I'm not really interested in your advice. Yet I find it crazy how many people take advice, financial advice, from people who are broke. From their mama, from their school teachers, from their friends down the pub. They're taking advice about what should I do, my next move? Should I start a business? What should I call my business? You shouldn't even be having those conversations with those people because they haven't done it themselves. You shouldn't be watching the videos of people that are talking about how to make more money when actually they haven't done it themselves. And I think one of the biggest things that you need to give up in 2022 is taking advice from simply the wrong people. And then number 5, fifth thing you need to give up in 2022 to be a millionaire is you need to completely give up fear. Give up fear of failure. Most people think that in order to succeed in life or in business, you've got to understand this magical concept and how you can do it first time and you can bang and be successful. But let me tell you something. In order to be a millionaire, you are going to have to fail. Failure and success are not two different things. In fact, you have to fail in order to succeed. Write this down. Failure is the stepping stone to success. That's really interesting. So in 2022, any fear that you've got of failing, just forget it. Just think, you know what, actually, let me embrace it. Let me fail forward, as I think John Maxwell famously said. So those are the things to give up. People's opinions, listening to the wrong people's opinions, fear of failure, fear in general. Your mind's job is to try and protect you. Forget it. You want to be super successful, you have to step out fearlessly. And listen, sleep in, man. Have a line. Take a holiday. Watch Netflix. It's all good. But those last 5 things I said, get rid of them. Give them up if you want to succeed in 2022. Really hope you win in 2022. I'll see you guys soon.